Well, hello everybody. How are you today? Let me know where you're tuning in from, whenever you jump on. It's live here with Essential Stencil, and I'm Sharon Hankins from the blog I Restore Stuff, ready to show you another DIY project. So if you are joining me on the replay, comment the word replay. We'd love to know where you're tuning in from or where you're watching from. And if you're joining us live, don't forget there's a chance to win some prizes at the end of our live, so stay tuned. We're going to be doing Christmas projects today, and I know some of you think it's too early for Christmas, others think, oh my goodness, we are already way into crafting for Christmas, because sometimes we have people who are in our Stencil of the Month Club, or even joining us here on our regular lives, that sell their stenciled signs at markets, in antique booths, all of that kind of thing. So for those people, you need to be purchasing your craft equipment and things for Christmas way ahead of time. And so I know that we are just finishing July. It's actually the 1st of August here in Australia right now. I'm in Queensland in Australia. It's beautiful and sunny over here. Hello, everybody's jumping on to say hello. Barb's here, Tammy and Bobby. Hello, Larry, Christy. So I'll just check out comments over here because sometimes I can't see them there. There we go. Nice to see you too, Tammy. Yes, so today we'll be doing some Christmas crafting, and I found this signboard that I'm about to show you, and it's actually sort of got 3 slats, but it looks like it's got more because it's got these faux little grooves in here to make it look like, we call it VJ boards over here. I'm not sure if that's the same shiplap maybe, I think you call it over there. Hi Melissa. Hi guys, how are you all? Carolyn's here from Tennessee. So yeah, I found this at an op shop, we call them here in Australia, thrift store over there, or a charity shop. So a lot of times you'll find signboards. Now this actually had something on it. You can see it hangs this way, but you could change these little hooks out to make it hang the other way if you wanted to, and make it a long, nice, wide signboard. And also this had something else on it. It was a bit of a nautical theme, I think, with a rope, and said something about sailing the seas in the middle. And I thought, you know what, I could change that for just a few dollars. I picked up this signboard, and it's cheaper than going and buying your wood and making a signboard like this with the panels in it. So we just cleaned it up. What I did was I sanded back the sign that was on the surface and just painted it. I painted it using just a nice quality furniture paint. Fusion mineral paint is the one that I use, and that's in the colour Casement, which is just a very faint off-white, I mean very slightly off-white. It's one of their purest whites. And so this is a thrift store find, just a signboard. Sand it back, sand all the words off it or the previous design. You could probably just paint over it if you wanted to, but make sure your surface is nice and clean. I decided to sand it back because sometimes you can just slightly see those previous signs in through it. So Sandy says, can't wait to see what you're making tonight. Awesome. So that's one thing I'll be using. I want to use our Christmas transfers. Hi, Judy. Christmas transfers. There are a few that are back in stock, so don't forget that. And just a reminder today too to use my code I Restore Stuff, and you can save yourself 10% no matter what you purchase on the website essentialstencil.com, and also you can save yourself on the Stencil of the Month Club. So if you do join the Stencil of the Month Club, which is open all the time now, it used to have just a small open window then closed for the rest of the month. You can join anytime. If you do join now, you'll receive August's Stencil of the Month design, which you will see on there. Lots of fun. In fact, guys, guess what? I don't know if I can tell you. No, I probably can't tell you. But next month, September, I have done a collaboration with Essential Stencil for the September, I believe it is. Not October. I think it's the September one. So you've got that to look forward to. And I think I can probably tell you there'll be some Christmas theme. It'll be Christmas themed. Okay, so there's a little hint. Shh. Told you a little sneak something before it comes out. Okay, so today I want to use this really large Christmas vintage truck with the Christmas tree in it. I love it, and it comes with a whole bunch of red truck. It comes with 2 sheets of rub-on transfers. You can see I've cut mine out, and so some of them, they're all sort of falling all over the place here. I've just dropped one. And they have little things in it, like there's this Christmas bow as well, so that's what I'll be using on my large sign today, and I'll be combining that with a stencil. But also back in stock are the Christmas lanterns and candles, gorgeous, and the nutcrackers, snow globes and nutcrackers, very beautiful as well. I don't know why I got this one out, but I don't even know if that's back in stock. That's probably one of the things I thought, oh, I can make this on this signboard, because I rarely have signboards that are this large. I've got a lot of smaller signboards, so I got that one out just in case I wanted to use it. But I'm going to be doing Christmas theme today. So we've got our vintage truck, and I want to combine it with a stencil. I feel like I'm all over the place this morning. But the other thing that I did find and pick up at the thrift store is this little fake book stack. So you can see the lines on it, which make it look like a little book stack there. And it had something on the side of it. It was, one of those manufactured, little pieces of decor. And I thought I can just sand that back, repaint it white, and add some Christmassy themed words to that. Wrap it in some string, put a little bit of holly or berries at the top, which I need to find some of those. So I might, if I get time, I'll do that. And with that one, I thought I could use this stencil set, Love Came Down. Now that one's back in stock at the moment too. So if you're short on Christmas stencils, I do believe Essential Stencil will have some new ones out before Christmas. So never you mind, they usually do that. But there are some, if you haven't shopped all of the previous year's designs, if you type in the word Christmas up in the search bar at essentialstencil.com, you'll find a lot of them. All right, how are we going today? Yes, Essential Stencils posted and pinned the post with all the description of what I'll be using today, the different stencils I'll be using, the transfer. Now, I forgot to put this one on there, but I have a few ideas that you could use if your signboard was a little larger than mine. Now, I did put in the width of my signboard. It's 24 inches by 14 inches. So if you wanted to make something similar today, you could use that size, although I would go more like 16 inches because then you can fit more signs up the top of the signboard. So here's our signboard, and I will be putting the vintage truck right down the bottom. So I want something for up the top. So I was looking at the Christmas sets that are available. Hello, Phyllis. How are you? Can't wait to see what... Oh, there's Olive, right on cue. She's listening. I think she's finished all the treats that I gave her. I filled her treat balls this morning. All right, so this one's back in stock, which is... Oops. Let me just see. I've got a question here, and sometimes I can't click on the see more button. I don't know why it's not letting me see more of that question coming up. So maybe someone else can help in the comments, or I will get back to that. The barking always makes everyone's dogs look up. Here it is, this one here, it's called, oh, I've got my microphone on today, so hopefully that picks up my voice a little louder than the dogs today. Vintage Sleigh Rides, okay? So it comes with the Vintage Sleigh Rides sign, which is cute, and that would fit probably at the top of my signboard. And it also comes with the St. Nick's Bed and Breakfast. Yes, St. Nick's Bed and Breakfast, which I love that idea of having that at the top of the signboard with the vintage truck too. However, I think my signboard's just slightly too small for the S's. They just kind of come off either side. So if I was doing this one, I'd probably choose a signboard a little wider than the 14 inches that I have, because this is a 16-inch stencil. So you kind of want a 16-inch board to do that on. But look, it just comes off the sides. I don't know if I'll get away with it. I'll let you maybe decide between this and another one in a minute. The other signs that are still in stock, that are just back in stock, are Christmassy or winter or Christmassy, Winter Wonderland, Hot Cocoa Ice Skating, which I don't know. I have to pick one that sort of goes with the vintage truck Christmas tree theme too, you know. So ice skate rentals, that's kind of a wintry theme. You could do those kind of big signs with something like this. The other one that I did find, now this one, I hesitate always to use stencils that are currently out of stock. And I'm sorry, but this one is currently out of stock. But I know that some of you also appreciate when we do lives on stencils that you already have and you've already purchased from over the years. So sorry if you don't have this one yet, but it's called I'm Dreaming of a Farmhouse Christmas, and it has this nice Christmas trees round on the back that I thought would also look great with the Christmas truck. So the truck does fit, I just haven't got it lined up properly. So can you help me decide, I'll check the comments, between this round Christmas trees, which kind of fits with the truck theme, or the St. Nick's bed and breakfast sign, which just kind of fits outside of my board. Yeah, I think that one looked perfect with the truck. You're talking about the trees. So tell me round trees or St. Nick in the comments. Round trees or St. Nick. Sandy says the farm fresh, yeah, circle, round Christmas tree, everyone's saying Christmas tree. I know, I think you're right. So the round sign will probably fit better, but if you're looking for these and haven't got those yet, I just think they're gorgeous. Wouldn't that look just amazing? Even on someone's bedroom door, like outside, you know, if you have guests for the holidays, the St. Nick's bed and breakfast could be a great one to look for, you know, for your guest rooms or even on the front of your house. I think that would be great. Excuse me a minute. I have a little dog scratching on the door like she wants to go out. So I'm just going to open that a crack. But sometimes she just uses that to get my attention. So we'll see if she really does want to go outside. Nope, it's an attention-seeking thing. Anyway, and the other one to do on this in a minute, I'm going to be using probably this Joy to the World. And we'll put the Joy to and the and world sort of down the book stack. Where am I going? This way, like that. So we'll do that in a minute. Let's start with our vintage truck sign. Everyone's liking the round tree. Yeah. Okay, we'll do that. We will do that. And I think it's very cute. I don't know if this one's even on the website. So sometimes if it is on the website and it's simply out of stock, there will be a little button there that you can hint to Essential Stencil that you really want this one and just say, and there's a little button that sort of says something like, let me know when this is back in stock, please. And you hit that and it will send them a little notification to say, there's about, you know, hundreds of people interested in this stencil. Please get it back in stock. And so that kind of gives them an idea of who's wanting it. Oh, thank you so much. Was that Rhonda is helping somebody in the comments? You guys are wonderful. This is just the best community for help. DIY crafting help. Oh, Henny says you finally get to see me live. It's been a while. Well, I'm so glad to have you back. And I think someone was just asking about where to purchase the book stacks. Now, this one's actually a fake book stack. So it's just a bit of MDF actually. That was I found in a thrift store for like a couple of dollars. So I thought, can't pass that up. I've got to just make some kind of signage out of that. But I've actually used real books before. You can get some at the thrift store for like cents or $1 each or something. And so you'll get some nice thick hardcover books. Slice the covers off them and then put the spines together, paint the spines if they're kind of a brown color, or you may like to just leave them like that. But I have actually done lives on that here. You can probably find them on my YouTube channel or here at the Essential Stencil page in the video section. I've definitely done book stacks before here on my lives. All right, so I'm just sort of thinking about placement of our stencils. And I will probably use Fusion's Coal Black for our Christmas tree sign, but I thought I could do a little bit of shadowing with maybe just the Christmas and trees words. And so I haven't done shadowing for a little while, so we'll do that. We'll pop this down a little bit further, get this in place where we want it. So with the stencils and the transfers, you can just combine them, and it's amazing how well and nicely they work together. Yes, Nora, saying the transfer is amazing. It is such a nice, large vintage Christmas truck, and the other trucks in the design and items that they have there are so cute too. So I'm just using this green colour because I thought it looks similar to the green on the trees. So this is Fusion Mineral Paint colour Carriage House. Actually, I think that's Fusion's colour of the week this week. I have a feeling. They do like a little feature on the colour of the week. So this is Carriage House. If you do want Fusion Mineral Paint, I do have a link for that in our description of the live or in that pinned comment there. And if you use my affiliate link there, you can also put in my code I restore stuff at that link and get 10% off your Fusion paint. So that's a good deal. Excuse me, Olive. No, no, no. Quiet. Quiet. No. Nope. Quiet. Tori will be here any second to help me out with the dog noises. So, come on. Go find Tori. Where's Tori? Go find her. Go get her. Okay. Just going to tape off because I just want to shadow these words, the Christmas words. I don't want to get the paint in other areas. So I'm just going to tape off, say, for example, the trees here, so I don't accidentally get that. And also probably around these lines here that are next to the circle lines, you know, because I don't want the green getting on there. My brush is probably a little bit, I just sort of measure the edge, and if my brush, I think it's going to get too close to the edge, then I will worry about that, but I think we're good. So this is the colour, green colour Carriage House, sort of got similar colourings in that colour to the Christmas tree on our vintage truck transfer, so that's why I'm using that one. Phyllis wants to learn to do shadowing. Okay, so I'm offloading my brush. Can you see that? Let me just shuffle this over a little bit here so you can see. Offloading, oh, I can do it down this way. I'm offloading the excess that I've got on the brush, offloading that onto a piece of cardstock or cardboard. I simply use my Essential Stencil envelopes that they come in. That's for the Stencil of the Month Club. So I'm going to be using this, and we will just do a nice swirling motion here on our previously painted board. And now this is just going to be the shadow behind the black that I'm going to do over everything. Okay, so I'm just putting a shadow behind the words Christmas trees. So a lot of you have seen this shadowing technique. It is quite easy, Cheryl. I think it is too. A lot of people get a little bit intimidated by it, but no need to be. It is quite easy. And stencils are made of mylar, so they're a nice thick plastic, and they really are great quality. You can have multiple uses of them. I tend to try and wash mine, keep them clean so that I can use them over and over again. If you do not clean them, I mean, you don't have to, but eventually if you use it over and over and over, the paint can build up on these little edges and in and around those bridges. So you've just got to be careful of that. The brush I'm using is a 5/8 inch brush, and the brushes are also from Essential Stencil. I'm not sure if they've got the pink ones left, but they've usually got a blue handle on there. And so you can get those from Essential Stencil and also get 10% off using my code I restore stuff. Oops, I've bent one of the little bits of plastic in there. Probably while I was washing it, I might have gotten it a bit bent. Again, we offload. Sandy, no need to be afraid of shadowing. I'll show you. It's simply easy. And so all we're doing is one layer. So you just have to think of two contrasting colours. So with shadowing, I always like to use, you can use a dark under a light colour. So make sure they contrast fairly well. And so this green, I think, will stand out with the black. And we've got a white background board. So I needed something sort of in between. I feel like this is a little bit dry. Olive, settle. I feel like my brush was a little bit dry. You definitely don't want a wet brush, but the paint more likely is a bit dry. So I've just got a damp cloth here that I'm just going to help my brush. Yeah, I think the paint that's in the lid is a little bit dried out. I'm using Fusion Mineral Paint, and it's a nice quality furniture paint, so it's especially made so that it fuses, like the name suggests, fuses to your furniture, no matter what varnish or finish is on the surface. Just a few little prep tips, and you can be on your way painting a new or an old piece of furniture. Great way to refresh the furniture in your house in these times where sometimes it's a little bit of a struggle to purchase new, so it's always fun to just upcycle and create something fun out of things that we've already got. Even Decor, I use it on that too. So yeah, definitely use my code I restore stuff at the Fusion link that's in the pinned comment there, or the description of our live. Okay, so that should be enough. Maybe I've got one little bit here that I need to just follow through with a little bit of shadow. I think Olive's got the zoomies. She's chasing, I don't know if she's chasing Tori or Tori's chasing her. Olive, settle. Oh, she's being so noisy crazy today. Okay, so now that I've got that green on it, this is going to be my shadow. So you've got to decide which colour you want as the background when you're doing shadowing. Remember that the last colour you put on top is going to be the main feature colour, and the first colour you put on the bottom is going to be the actual shadow of whatever you're stenciling. So just in case we do use this green again, I will just pop it into a plastic bag so that it doesn't dry out in between coats or in between uses or whatever. I may not use it again, but we'll just see. So now I'm going to lift that up, and we've got our nice Christmas trees sign part there. So we've got, it doesn't matter if it's really crisp. You want to get nice crisp edges, of course. It doesn't matter if it has a little bit of blurring, because we are going to put black over the top of that. We'll see. It does look fairly dark, doesn't it? Okay, so for our next trick, I feel like saying, yes, Christy, Olive just has things to say today. I know, right? Yeah, so I do think, someone just mentioned how it does match the colour of the trees. I think so too, that's why I picked it. So now for our shadow technique, what I want to do, I'll show you where I'm going to stick this, and I will remove the other pieces of tape, but these ones on the outside. So there's the actual stencil. You can see as I move it around, do your eyes play tricks on you, that it's kind of moving like a shadow in the background? So we put it on exactly where we want it to be, and then we're going to maybe shift it up slightly and across. Okay, so ever so slightly I've shifted it up and across. Let me do that again, and I'll hold it up closer so you can see. So I'm going to move it up and then slightly across. You don't have to move it very far to get that shadow 3D effect look. Okay, so now I'm going to push my tape down at the sides, and we are going to remove the tape that's on the other letters, because now I'm going to go over the entire thing with the black paint to create a sign look. So if you've just joined me, we're creating a upcycled sign which I found at the thrift store, and I removed the previous thing that was on it just with sanding. I sanded the thing. Sanded the board down, and now we've got our stencil in position, and we'll get our black paint ready now with a new brush, and I think I could probably use the larger one. Let's see. Thanks. All right, we've got another 5/8 inch brush. I know this one's really popular for all of you too. It's just a really good size. It fits, most of the stencils. I do use the larger brush when I've got larger space or larger area. So the trees, though, they're okay. They'll not be too bad. Alrighty, so I'm using Fusion's Coal Black. It's a really true black, so that'll stand out nicely with the sign. Oh, Donna, that's great. Taught me a while ago how to shadow. Thank you. Oh, you're so welcome. Charlotte says, I wish I could find neat things to upcycle. You just have to keep going. Like sometimes I'll go to thrift stores and just find nothing. Other times there'll be a few little things, but you just kind of sometimes think outside of the box. Most thrift stores will have a bit of a craft section or where they've got frames and signs and things like that. So I do use a lot of those types of things. So let's pop that down there. Okay, so we're going to go over the entire thing. So let me start up here with our lines. And when you see the lines going around like that, I just follow the lines. Most of the time when I'm stenciling, Tori, can you stop her? Just open it. Thanks. She's scratching on the door. She's locked her in a room. So we're going around the circle parts, but I do like a swirling motion over the letters, and that just helps us not get any bleeding or fuzzy lines on our stencils if we've got less paint on the brush and nice gentle swirling motion. But you can only really do that swirling motion if you've got nothing on the brush. You know what, I should be doing those trees in green, shouldn't I? That would be a good idea. So maybe I will use that brush again. Who thinks I should do that? Should I do the trees in the green? Didn't really think about it at the time that I was shadowing, but we will. Offload the brush, getting as much excess paint off there. And if you do need to do a second coat of your stenciling of your paint and your letters, then you can go ahead and do that. But it's better to have two thin coats than have too much on the brush and you risk, you know, getting that bleeding. Anyone else experienced that bleeding underneath the stencil and you've got really fuzzy edges? We all have made that mistake, and I still do. Occasionally I get like in a rush and I'll think I've got enough off the brush, and then all of a sudden I start to swirl. I'm like, I think that's going to create a fuzzy edge. I was not patient enough. So yeah, you just got to be careful to just have really minimal paint on the brush. Green trees, yes, someone said. I should do the green trees. Anyone watching the Olympics at the moment? I always love to watch the swimming. I don't know if anyone else likes to watch the swimming, but being an Australian, I think Australians do really well in the pool, so we like that. Like the tally shows Australia right at the top of the, you know, the Olympic tally board or whatever, and then once the swimming's over, because that's usually the first events, isn't it, of the Olympics. And once the swimming's over, Australia starts to even out and then get down there, because that's our main thing is the swimming. I guess we're surrounded by ocean, so a lot of swimmers here. It's pretty much every child at every school in Australia is taught swimming lessons, so from a young age that's in the curriculum. Maybe that's the thing, I don't know. Is it the same over there? Diana says, shadow the trees using black as your shadow and green trees. I did think about that too. That's a good thought. Could maybe do that. I'll have to move my stencil back to get that black on first and then do the green tree over it. I think that would be fun. Oops, my letter's a little bit close to the tree there, that's all right. Oh, Ida says synchronized diving's on right now. Rhonda's been enjoying watching the Olympics. It actually starts for us in our time zone, it starts at like 3:30 in the morning for us, so we are just usually catching it at this time of day, which is, for us, it's our morning time. And then I think it finishes by around lunchtime. But they do show replays, so I do catch the replays. But I do watch watching this. I like watching the swimming live. My husband was watching some of the BMX riding, and Australia did well in that last night. So go Aussie, go USA. Anyone here from other countries? Let me know in the comments. If you're watching from somewhere outside of the USA, got any Canadians in the house? Lisa, you said you do pretty good on most of your stenciling, but you always have at least one bleed. Yeah, it is tricky to get it just right, and I always recommend practicing on, you know, a piece of cardboard, or if you don't care about something you've bought from a thrift store, that can be a good practice piece to do practicing on. So yeah, practice, practice, practice. So not sure, we'll see how it looks now without, actually should I move the trees? No, I will move the trees back to where the shadow is. Just lift this a minute. And I'll try and find my green shadow so I can just do those trees and do that idea that someone suggested. And we'll do the trees black and then the shadow black and then the trees green. So let's just do a little shadow for those trees, keeping in mind we will see the shadow just at the bottom and the bottom and this side of the tree. So you probably don't really need to go over the right side, but we'll go over mainly those areas. Okay, and now move it back up and slightly right to exactly where our black stencil is. And I do want to just make sure that's dry, so I'm going to grab that green brush and we'll do the green shadow, but we do need to make sure that don't even know where I put my green paint. There it is. I do have my hairdryer here. Plug that in. USA won gold in gymnastics. Edna, that's amazing. That's awesome. That's another event I do like to watch, is the gymnastics. That's always fun. They're so talented. It just exhausts me though sometimes, thinking, oh. Also the diving, I don't mind watching a bit of diving. That's a bit of fun to watch. Look forward to the athletics. Oh, this did dry out a little. Okay, so now I'm getting my trees, and because we did the shadow in the black, we're doing the trees green. That should turn out nicely, I think. Again, this green is really dry. I'm going to dampen that with a little bit of damp cloth. And then I like to clean my stencils afterwards with a bit of Awesome Spray, just to really get all the fusion paint off, because that tends to stick really well to this Mylar. I need to. Kim says you guys have great swimmers. Yeah, they always seem to do really well in the pool. Hi Kim, who just hopped on. We're doing Christmas things today, so thanks for joining us. Join in the conversation, guys, because you know we give prizes at the end of our live. 3 lucky winners are going to get prizes too, for gift card. I've just got a little piece of hair on there. Essential Stencil gift cards, $20 gift cards going at the end of our live today. So that's going to be fun. Okay, let's lift this up, see how it looks. Just taped off a little bit where I needed it to be. Okay, not too bad. We can still see that shadowing. So if I hold that up close, let's see if you can see that up close. It just gives it a little bit of a 3D look. Can you see it or not? I can't see because I'm kind of looking up at it, but just looking at the words Christmas trees, the rest, the farm fresh and the pine spruce fir and the lines, they're all just black, but the Christmas trees has a little bit of a green shadow, and then the Christmas trees are green with a black shadow. So you can kind of see that, kind of, sort of. And then let's get onto our vintage truck transfer. So we've got a nice long board, and I did put the measurements of it in the description there of the live. It's 14 inches by 24 inches. But I did mention that if you do have a 16-inch wide one, you can fit some really, some great other signs on it. Like, for example, the St. Nick bed and breakfast, which would have looked great. St. Nick's bed and breakfast. Imagine that on a sign for your guest room or something. Okay, so we've got our Christmas tree sign, we've got our large truck rub-on transfer. So we're just removing the paper backing. I'm going to stand up so I can I want to see and line this up exactly where I want it to go, because once you put it down and you've placed it, it does have a bit of a sticky thing on it. So I've got to hold it in a place where it's not going to go down. And I want to get those truck edges near the edge, but not over the edge. Oh, it's so close to the edge, isn't it? Okay. I think that's just perfect right there. Ta-da! It's not crooked, is it? So we're just going to rub that down with my hand. Oh, and I forgot to do this last time. I had some scissors handy to to cut where those are, but I don't have my scissors on hand. Let me just see if I can just grab those real quick over my kitchen drawer. Ah, not the sharp ones. Don't you hate it when you go to find the scissors and your sharp ones have disappeared somewhere? Anyway, we'll get started on using the rub-on part to rub this on. The rub-on tool, which is just, you could use any plastic store card or anything for that. And we've got these gaps in here. I showed this last week with the rub-on transfer on a crate, that if you've got those gaps, you can cut them. You could even cut it before you start. But really just trying to get in those grooves there as best you can so that the transfer part of it will kind of almost cut itself off if you just go in the groove there. Okay, can we see over that side? Let's see how we go. Lifting this off. Oh, perfect. And I'll just do this without cutting for this time, and I might just could probably get a knife and cut down those, because these gaps aren't as large as last week I had the crate. Does anyone remember last week I did something on a crate that I had whitewashed? And I showed you how to counteract that orangey colour in pine. So if you're interested in something like that and you're like, oh, I've got something orangey pine, I want to make it not so orangey, I'll give you some clues on how to do that there. Oh, thank you guys. Yep, so these are the Christmas trucks, all back in stock now. This one's coming off pretty fast, but I do tend to like to take it slow. And here we are right at that gap. It's the first big gap there. Crossing over the edge, here we go. Crossing over the great gap. If you do see any pieces of transfer stuck to your this plastic here, you just lay it back down and keep rubbing. This one seems to be coming off really nicely. So the tree's coming off nicely. Great. So I've used Fusion Mineral Paint as the base for the sign in the colour Casement, if you missed that earlier. If you are wanting to try Fusion, you can use my code I Restore Stuff over at the Fusion link that I've got there. That's my affiliate link in the description or the pinned comment there. And if you use my code over there, you can get 10% off your Fusion purchases. and they ship it directly to you. Oh, that's great. Yeah, this transfer is coming up really well. Sometimes they kind of stick to your surface depending on what surface you've used. Sometimes, I don't know, it's the weather, I don't know. It's hard to know if they're going to be a little bit temperamental, but this one's coming off so smoothly. Honestly, it's great. Look at that. Not even a little piece left on there. Okay, so now I just sort of run my fingers over that nice and smoothly. I don't know if these scissors, I think I'll do a knife, but if I just run my fingers right down there, oh look, see it's even tearing by itself on that crack in the wood. So if I just keep rubbing there, it's kind of got a little tear. Actually, I could do that with this. So we just get our tool and run that along each side, and it will stick to the inside edges of the board. Just giving a little rub along the edge. And then again with this side, and it's sticking to the edges there. Now those are the main grooves that are actually, I'll show you the back of the board. So these ones are fake grooves. They're on the front. Well, they're just grooves. These ones are actual cuts right through the wood. So if you look at the back, you can sort of see it's just got 3 boards here. But when you turn it over, you can see that there's some grooves here that just give the appearance of cut wood. So we've got these 2 areas here that I'll just simply get my tool again and see if I can nice and neatly cause that to just rip through. And it'll bend that into the grooves there. So now we go. Looks like an old signboard. So you could even vintage this up a little bit more if you wanted to by just kind of putting an antiquing glaze over it and creating a nice vintage look, even more vintage than what it is. Or you could just leave it like this. Now to finish that off, a lot of people ask, what do you seal your signs with? If this was going outdoors or anything, you could probably use some kind of outdoor sealer. But I tend to just use a wipe-on poly, or a Fusion mineral paint, again, has a tough coat sealer that you put on furniture. And so that that's a great one to use for on top of signs as well. So that comes in a gloss or a matte, so you can do that. Again, use my code IRISSTORESTUFF at any of the, like the Fusion or the essentialstencil.com. Hi Jackie, just jumping in, she says. Well, we've been having some Christmas fun here. This is a fake book stack, so it's just made out of MDF. Found it at a thrift store, and I thought we would just add a bit of Christmas to this. And I'm using the Love Came Down stencil set, which probably came in last year, I think. And it has 3 plus a bonus, so 4 designs inside, and they are 6x6 designs, and this one is Joy to the World, and I love this little font. I think it's perfect for a little book stack look. And this one could also still work, Oh Holy Night, maybe a little bit. You'd miss some of those flourishes there. And then we've got Christ is Born. So that could still work on something like this. The Born probably is a little bit big for that. So just, you know, have a look at the stencils that you've got and just work with Love Came Down. That would also work. So I did think about doing this. We could do Love Came and then Down. But again, you miss some of those flourishes. You could stencil that there. So let's go back to my original thought, which was Joy to the World. And the links to all of these are in the comments there. So we could also do a central, like usually you see book stack words coming on one side of them, but I think we could do this one, Joy to the World. So I was thinking joy and then to the and then world, or we go joy over here, to thee, and then world down the bottom. I like these flourishes over here. I don't want to necessarily make world finish in line here. What do you think? Centered or off to the right? Centered or off to the right? I need some opinions. So we got, this is the option. We're doing joy to the world along the bottom, or joy to the, and then world along the right hand side. Centered or bottom? I think centered, centered, centered. Someone said right, a couple on the right. Oh, now we're getting rights. Centered, centered, centered. It's so tricky, you guys. Oh. And then I want to put the string around it, you know, like in the end with a bit of, so would that still work if I did that in the center? Yeah, you could still make that work off to one side. You've got the joy to the world. I mean, the string could work if it's still in the center, because you'd literally just have to the world and have that. Yeah, I think that centered will still work. So most people are saying centered. Let's do that. I might start with the world down here. Now I've got all my little blue tape that I was using before for our other sign. And so I'm going to tape off that little, it was a little star in there. So we'll tape that off and we'll do world in the center, and then that'll help me to center the other pieces up the top. So I'll just add that here and do another one here so that we don't accidentally get paint on the other words. All right, and of course we will tape off, it's about the center, we'll tape off the sides here. And I'll use that black again. This is Fusion's Coal Black. Just going to dip a little bit in and offload the brush onto a piece of cardboard. And you can see that there. I wish I could find some, I want a little holly berry or leaves, or maybe even eucalyptus sprig might work actually. If I tie the string around and then, you know, glue some eucalyptus or some kind of holly berry thing on the top. I need to add to my craft stash, don't I, ladies? Okay, so we've got that right there. I almost had too much on my brush. I can see a couple of little mistakes right in there, but if you don't look too close, you won't see the fuzzy edges. But okay, let's see, we've got that. So now I'm going to make sure this is really dry before I go on to the next words. And again, it's just a matter of taping it off. So we want to put joy in the center and then to the. So it'll kind of go out like a Christmas tree in a sense. So we want to tape off the word joy. And I want to tape off world so that I don't accidentally get paint on those. Make sure that's all dry. I must have had a lot on my brush. Okay, so we've got to and the, and now I can't see where my world is underneath there. As long as I've got it in the center. I do have my tape measure right here. I could measure that, couldn't I? Let's just put it there temporarily and see how I went with either side. Who else? You know that I usually love to eyeball. Are you surprised I'm actually measuring this? A little bit over 2 inches. Oh, under. Under. Over. Yep, it is sort of, it's too far that way. Let's see if that is correct. Phyllis, you say you don't use a lot of flowers or green around your crafts either. It is tough to watch paint dry, I heard that. So 2 inches there and 2 inches there. Hey, exact. Let's not move that. All right, so I want to make sure that it's straight also, that's the thing, and I want to make sure it's centered within that line, the line of the frames. Okay, again with our little brush, making sure we've got paint on the brush, going into here with nice little swirly, pouncy motions. And this is a fake book stack that I picked up from a thrift store, if you've just joined us. And I just sanded off whatever was on it. I can't even remember what was on there. Some little message. I thought, nope, it's going to be my Christmas craft for this week. Okay, so now we've got let's lift that off, all centered. Maybe the world is not off center. Yeah, it is. Guys, disappointed myself. Oh well. Okay, so we've got Joy now to put in the center, and I will measure that, make sure we've got it correct. Let's see if that's in the right spot. Jackie's asking, where did you get the Christmas farm from? The round sign came from Essential Stencil, but it is no longer in stock at the moment. So, sorry about using something that's not in stock, but I really wanted something that fitted my sign. I'm going to go in centimetres for that. 6 centimetres and then 7. So we are way off. And again, need to go this way. To put that somewhere else. Let me see. To the world. Joy to the world. Yeah, Kay says I always make things off. Better start measuring, Kay, like me. With this thing that it's so small, okay, slightly this way I need to go. It is pretty tricky, especially when I can't, it's hard to eyeball something when you've got busyness going on here, you've got here we can't see underneath the stencil because I've got black paint on it. So it makes it a bit difficult to sort of eyeball where center is. If I had just one stencil, it's easier, but because it's a bit trickier to eyeball where it's up to, oh, I think we're just ever so slightly this way now. Tensiest bit. Tensiest tinsel bit. Okay, now it's just below that number, and it's just beyond, oh no, hang on. It's just below that number. It's just below, yeah, I think we're good. Let me see so I can see. Looks good to me. Looks good to me. Yeah, it is out of stock, this one. Sorry, guys. So, but there are going to be some more Christmassy stencils coming, I'm sure, sometime between now and Christmas. They usually do, so... but also there are some other great options. I just couldn't fit the other options on my sign. They kind of came out a bit long over the edge. But yeah, Christmas tree stencil, if you've got one. A lot of people already have this one, so I thought, well, let's just demo that one. You can use anything. Oh, we have it. It might be a little off center, but we have Joy to the World. Look at that little fake book stack right there. So then all we have to do is, I'll put that in my washing stencil pile, pop the lid on. So then we just have to sort of get a bit of string and get some sort of fun holly leaves, or eucalyptus branch sounds cute to me too. So we just want to grab a bit of string. Don't know which side to put it on really. You could switch and change it just for a bit of an idea of what it would or could look like. Or you could tie ribbon around it too, or we could make the string go across this way. Nothing wrong with that either. So let me just grab this, make it sort of fairly long there, and do a little tie. Don't go anywhere because we're about to give away some prizes to some lucky winners. So yeah, we're right on time. Look at us go. Thank you for all your help in the comments, guys. Oops, that is a delivery. Just quickly got to get that. Did you know that it is my daughter's 21st birthday?
How's it going?
Hello, good, thank you. Oops, sorry. Thanks, sorry, I've got a cable tied to me on a microphone.
Sorry.
Just doing a signature, everybody. Hang tight live. Thank you. Grabbed it. Yep, thanks. Ta-bye. Okay, so, oops, and my cable dragged it around. No, you can't see, Tori. Go away. Can't look. It's her 21st birthday this weekend, everybody. So shout out to Tori for being 21. Yeah, you're getting lots of happy birthday comments. And so I told her before the live, I said, okay, your brother said there's a package that might be coming today and you're not allowed to look. So I told her, and she says, what if someone comes during your live? And I'm like, well, we'll have to deal with it. So we did, but we're almost finished. We are finished our live. So there you go. I just finished in time before the courier came. But look at that, Joy to the World, little cute book stack. Now that was using this stencil set, which is called Love Came Down, and you've got 3 plus a bonus in there. And then also we used, now this stencil's not available, but the truck, the vintage truck transfers are all back in stock. There's this beautiful big large one, which is almost, how long is this? I said this is 14 inches, my sign. So the truck comes right out to the edge of that. And so the vintage trucks and all the Christmas, if you look up Christmas transfers on Essential Stencil, you'll see all of the transfers that are back in stock. Okay, everyone's saying happy birthday, happy 21st. I know, my baby, 21. All right, so here's what we made today. We are getting ready to pick some winners. Let me know if you see our winners on the live there being announced. And yes, so many happy birthday wishes. That's what we've done today. Isn't that gorgeous? I love it. So it's already got its little hooks and tie on the back from when I picked it up at the thrift store. And so that's going to be great. I love that it fits in with the Christmas tree theme. And if you did miss it earlier, we did some shadowing on that word Christmas and trees and some shadowing on the Christmas trees. So there you go. And a nice simple book stack. And just remember, you can do this with real books. So I've done that before. You can check out my YouTube channel, I Restore Stuff on YouTube. And I've got some book stack stenciling examples in there of real books. So you just trim the spines off. You can paint the spines if you wanted to, stack them together, tie them together. You can even glue them together if you wanted to, and then add your stencils on. All right, our winners today, we've got Judy Noel, or do we say Judy Noel? It's a very Christmassy name. Judy, Annetta King, and Kelly Driscoll Lowe. So Judy, Annetta, and Kelly, congratulations, you've won a $20 gift voucher from Essential Stencil. And you can claim that by messaging or emailing. That email that they said there is support@essentialstencil.com. Let them know that you were a winner on today's live with Sharon Hankins from I Restore Stuff, and they will send you your prize. So, guys, thank you so much for watching. Don't forget, use my code I Restore Stuff and save yourself. And I'll see you next week for another live DIY. Catch you then. Bye.